Hi, I'm TJ, and this is my story. My mom was a bartender and a single mom up until my second year of kindergarten. And there she got married to my stepdad, and from there it kind of went downhill. He would come home from work and he wanted to let his anger out. And so he used me and my sister. I developed such a hatred for this man, and I honestly wanted him dead. I didn't enjoy being around him. The times I tried to make him happy and try to see him smile, and it never worked. These things developed into making me really have a hatred in my heart that was just consuming me. It got so bad, like I needed to get out of there. So I moved to Missouri, and when I left, I was talking to my best friend, and I told him what was in my heart. I said I was gonna go out to Missouri, I was gonna get bigger, I was gonna get stronger, and I was gonna come back and I'm gonna kill this guy because I wanted to murder him. I hated him with every ounce of me. But luckily God had a different plan. I came out to Missouri, and that first year I just started going to youth group in California right before I moved out here. I didn't really buy into it all. I didn't give my life to the Lord yet. I guess I did, but I didn't understand what that was, and I wasn't living for him. I started getting involved in the church. They didn't have a youth group there, and so I tried to help start a youth group there because I knew I needed that. And that was the year where everything really changed for me. That was where I gave my life to the Lord completely and solidified it, and just gave up everything that I held on to from California. I let it go there. And one of the things that I let go was my hatred. And it was by the grace of God that I did that. When I gave my life to him there at camp, he put a call on my life, and I knew I needed to do some things to help make that happen. And one of the biggest things was forgiving my stepdad. That night, I gave my dad a call, and I was sitting in my kitchen, and I don't think he understood the power of the conversation that we were having, but it was just it was such a relief, and just the weight that was lifted off my shoulders. I called him, and I remember telling him, I said, Russ, I just want you to know that I forgive you for everything you've ever done to me. And I want you to forgive me for anything I've ever done to you, because I didn't feel like I did do anything, but maybe there was something that I did that sparked him to do what he did, and I didn't know. But I wanted to get it all out there, and I want him to know that I was a changed man in God, and that from this point forward, I was going a different direction. And so by the grace of God, I was able to forgive, and it was powerful to me. I mean, it was such a relief. When I got off that phone with him, I felt a light in my life that I've never felt. We're gonna fast forward quite a few years when I joined the Marines. In the Marine Corps, I had probably the best 4 years of my life. But at the same time, I had the worst 4 years of my life. I pushed up in the ranks and became a squad leader by my second tour of Iraq. It was really heated there. We were in Fallujah doing patrols each day. On August 22nd, we were doing some patrols on the peninsula of Fallujah. Terrorists knew where approximately we would be, maybe not the time frame, but they would know where to set up. That day they did set up. There were some fuel cans on the side of the road when we were pulling up to them, which you'd think it looks a little shady, but out there's always kids on the side of the road next to some fuel cans trying to sell some fuel. The only thing shady about it was there wasn't any kid out there. So they were checking out the fuel cans and seeing if there's anything wrong with it or if it was just fuel cans. We decided that there's nothing wrong with it, and we were gonna push on. That day I had my lieutenant with me. Pretty sure he's the one who told my vehicle commander to call up to me and said, hey, why don't we push those fuel cans off the road so the next convoy coming through doesn't think it's a IED like we did and lose time. As we started pushing up to the vehicle, at three sides of the back can, it was like two big blue cans, and they were like square, and the back one had three sides cut on it, and it was kind of hinged up, and I was like, what is going on? And at that moment I saw a little antenna, because I was on top of it basically, and I could see down into the spout, and the antenna from a phone detonation was in there that you couldn't see from back on the road where we were when we were checking it out. Right then I started yelling at my driver. I'm like, go, go, go. And right when that happened, that's when the explosion happened. When that explosion happened, it threw me into the radio, and I think I had a slight concussion. Everything just went slow motion. I hear this ringing in my ears, and I don't know what's going on. When I came out of it, I kind of looked around to make sure everybody's good. And as I started looking back forward, I saw fire swirling over the radio. I looked down, my hands were on fire, and that's when I knew I was in a bad situation. But as soon as I got out, I was hitting my hands on my pants, and I looked down, and the fire was gone. It was out. And then I ran back up to get Ramon. I thought Ramon was unconscious because of the blast. But when I got up to him, that's when I realized that he was gone. As a leader, that's one of the hardest things I ever had to face. I dealt with a lot of stuff in my life, in my Marine Corps career, but never did I lose someone under my command, and that was hard. I tried to pull him out 3 times. My hands just sloughed off. It looked like when you pull a latex glove off. My skin was just hanging off my hands, and I looked at it and I tried again. I tried 3 times and I couldn't pull my own guy out of the vehicle. So I called my driver up and I told him, hey, pull Ramon out right now. So I pulled him out and we set him down, and it was just unreal. You think seeing all of Hollywood growing up and stuff would give you an idea and numb you to some of this stuff, and it doesn't, because when it's real, it's unreal. We went to Camp Fallujah and they put us in the hospital there. Started just taking care of me, all the stuff I needed. I remember between God and them, you can't even tell today that I was burned. I spent the last year of my Marine Corps in my room just being filled with depression. I wasn't able to go out in the sun for the first year after my wounds. I had to wear these compression treatment gloves for a year, and the whole time I was there, I was just miserable. And I started going off the deep end. I got into drinking, and I was smoking heavily there. Totally fell away from God. I was mad with him. I was really angry with God because I lost Romero, and I prayed with Romero a few times, but I didn't know where he was. And I knew where I was, and I knew I should have been taken, or so I thought. I don't even know how to put it in words. It was just unbelievable in my mind what I was going through. I made it through that year. I got out, I got married, and my wonderful wife took care of me. She helped me so much. She was an amazing woman of God that just stood by me through all my hard times, and I'm lucky to have her. I thought it was all over when I got out of the Marine Corps, and it wasn't. And during this time, I developed such a hatred for a race of people that wasn't even truly them. It was terrorists that attacked me, and it was Satan basically that used them. But I remember on the 10-year mark was the first time where I started facing that, hey, I really had a hatred for this nation, and I had to forgive them. God was telling me, hey, TJ, it's time. You got to step up. You wanted this healing. You've been praying for it. So it's time that you forgive them. And I remember I hated him so much. I just wanted to go back over there and I wanted to get some. That's all I wanted, because I got taken out early. I didn't get to do my job. I didn't get to finish what I had on hand. I got taken out of the fight. All my guys had their sense of accomplishment when they came back, but I never got that. And I wanted it, man. I had that in my heart. I wanted to go back and I wanted to give it to him. And God said no. He said, it's time to forgive. And with my stepdad, it was something different, because God gave me the mercy to forgive. As much as I hated that man and I wanted to kill him, God put it in my heart to love him and to have compassion and to forgive. But this time God's like, you're gonna do it with me, but I'm not gonna give it to you. You have to want it and you have to take it. So I wrestled with God one night. I remember I was in bed and I had to leave the bedroom because I didn't want to wake Sarah up, because I started bawling like a baby. I was like, God, I want to hold on to this so bad because I owe them. And God said, no, you need to let it go. He's all, what have I forgiven you of? What have you done in your life? That's when I knew I had to give it up. But man, I wrestled with him just like Jacob wrestled with him. I probably spent an hour and a half, 2 hours in that living room just fighting with God. And finally I came to the same conclusion God had for me. And I prayed the prayer and I said, God, I don't have it in my heart this time to forgive. I don't want to, but I know I need to. And I ask you, help me. Soften my heart and help me to show love and compassion. Help me to forgive this race. It's easy to want to hate, but God let me forgive them that day. As I started praying that prayer, He gave me the comfort. He helped me to walk me through it. And so I had that forgiveness. I was able to forgive them. 10 years later, I finally let go of all that hatred. I started having a love and a passion for God again. I started wanting to get into church again. I started wanting to pray with my kids. I wanted to lead them. This changed my life. When you hold on to things in your heart, and that bitterness that builds, it creates a darkness in your life that you can't get out of, and you can't love like you need to. You can't get close to God like you need to. It puts barriers between you and God. And so when God helps you to let go of those things and forgive, it helps you to have life again. And that's what I was getting. I can't tell you how excited I am for the future now. I just encourage anyone that has this in their heart, that has bitterness, that has hatred, or any anger from their parents, from friends, anything that might hurt them, let it go. Because it's going to hold you back, and it's going to hold you from what God has for you. I mean, God has a plan for everybody. He has a plan for your life, and He's going to do it in you, but you got to let go and let God.